Well, Prost is certainly not winding up any additional power that he might have available if he does. And there he goes down the inside into the hairpin. Long, slow right-hander out onto the main straight, and Prost has nipped through.
That is Niki Lauda, who has gone up into second place ahead of Derek Warwick.
And just looking at that action replay, I thought they touched wheels, and it looked like they just bumped wheels as they went through.
And Alboreto has spun. We hear that I can see across the circuit that Alboreto has spun but has rejoined the race, and that means to say that Niki Lauda will be right with him, and Lauda leads. And there is Tournbay being passed by Alain Prost. So all of a sudden things are really catching light in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Now here's the battle between Prost and Mansell, and Prost is moving up into third position as I talk to you. So the McLarens are now first and third on lap 16. And Prost is darting and weaving and is now through into second place on lap 24. And the Marlboro McLarens are in first and second places and on their way, if they can keep running, with still over half the race to go, to a very famous victory.
The problem is, though, that it's very important to both of them, I would think, at this stage of the season, to try and establish supremacy over each other. Probably more important to be supreme over the other driver in the team than the other drivers in the race.
In the lead is Niki Lauda. In second place is his teammate Prost. Third position is still Warwick, who has his pit stop to make. Fourth is Nigel Mansell. Fifth is René Arnoux. Sixth is Elio De Angelis. Seventh is Keke Rosberg. In eighth position now is Nelson Piquet. And in 10th position, Eddie Cheever. Well, now you can't see it, unfortunately, but I can, and I'm going to tell you that Martin Brundle, not content with 12th position, is now right with Riccardo Patrese and challenging for 11th position. As into the pits now comes Derek Warwick. How long is this pit stop going to take? It's absolutely critical, because behind Warwick in 4th position and catching him now, of course, is Nigel Mansell, and there's Mansell into the pits. And Arnoux, René Arnoux has look at him, he's on fire. This is the Ferrari of René Arnoux, was in 4th position. Michele Alboreto already out of the race with that siege right front of his. And now René Arnoux, who had a lot of bad luck last year, looks as though he's starting 1984 no better, because on lap 32, René Arnoux has obviously blown his Ferrari engine. Martin Brundle on lap 34 is in 7th position. And Piquet's gone off. Piquet off. Teo Fabi already out of the race, and he was in 8th position, and Nelson Piquet's race is obviously out, is obviously run. When he was in 8th place, he gets out of the car, his race is finished. Nigel Mansell, who was number 12 in 4th position, is clearly right off the circuit, and it looks to me as though the wire netting has caught up around his car. This is one of the big problems of catch fencing, but Nigel Mansell is slowly levering himself out of the circuit, helped by the Brazilian fire brigade. This is the Rio fire brigade who marshal him, and thank heavens Nigel Mansell is clearly perfectly okay, but out of the race, and that means to say that Martin Brundle is now 5th.
And Prost is very definitely catching his teammate Niki Lauda. Now, is this purely tyres, and will Lauda be able to go in and put on a softer compound, as of course Prost will be able to have the same facility if that's the case, because Keke Rosberg has been just romping away.
Yes, look at this.
And Lauda's really slowed down. So is he in mechanical trouble, or does he want new tyres?
That's De Angelis who's passed him. Mansell out of the race, of course, and as James has pointed out, we could well be seeing a change for the lead. We could well be seeing, there is Prost in second place. We could well be seeing Niki Lauda come in for a tyre change as Eddie Cheever goes through the picture. There is the comparatively slow Niki Lauda, and I suspect we're going to see Prost come into the picture. He's coming into the pits. Niki Lauda then. Now let's take a timing on this. Niki Lauda in, and Prost I can see coming into the pits.
Well, that's a real problem for the McLaren team. If they didn't preordain that, to have both cars in at once. There is Prost, but where is Lauda? Because the pits are right next door. We just saw Lauda coming in, unless they...
That's Lauda.
And there's Lauda limping in. And so he's managed to come in behind Prost.
How very strange, because Alain Prost passed Niki Lauda, and I thought I saw Niki Lauda getting out of the car. He was. Niki Lauda's race is run. Niki Lauda is getting out of the Marlboro McLaren, and now we have a new leader. It's Derek Warwick is leading, and there is the McLaren of Niki Lauda. Derek Warwick leading then. Behind him, and sufficiently far behind him, I think, for pit signals to tell Warwick that if he keeps going the way he is going, he's going to win, is Alain Prost. In third position, the second of the two Renaults, and you're looking at the leader now, is Patrick Tambay. Fourth is Keke Rosberg. Fifth is Elio De Angelis. Sixth and lapped is Martin Brundle. Warwick seems to be in trouble. He's touring very, very slowly across the circuit. There is the Renault going very slowly indeed. What absolutely tragic luck for Derek Warwick. We don't know what the problem was, obviously, but on lap 51, with only 9 laps to go, it looks as though we are very soon, at the end of the lap, going to see a new race leader, which will be Alain Prost. There is Prost. Alain Prost goes through. And Warwick is coming into the pits. New race leader of the Brazilian Grand Prix. You're looking at Alain Prost. Look at this idiot crossing the road with them. There is Patrick Tambay in second place. Keke Rosberg looks as though he's going to be third, with De Angelis fourth, and Cheever and Brundle. With then only 3 laps to go, you look now at Rosberg, who's, I think, without a doubt, Keke Rosberg is now the fastest man on the circuit, and he's just passed Patrick Tambay. Now, subject to official confirmation, look at this. As Rosberg comes through and passes Patrick Tambay, it means that the Finn in the Williams Honda is now second.
And there's Tambay. And is he out of petrol? Has he done what it could happen to anybody under these new regulations and expired from lack of petrol with a lap to go?
Alain Prost comes shortly out of the last corner to take the checkered flag and to win. Victory for Alain Prost in Brazil. It looks to me as though he's coasting across the line, waving his arms in victory. A magnificent, exciting and totally unpredictable Brazilian Grand Prix then, confirming victory for Alain Prost. Keke Rosberg second. In third position, Elio De Angelis. In fourth place was Eddie Cheever. In sixth position, Patrick Tambay. And a magnificent fifth place, 2 championship points in his first Grand Prix for Martin Brundle in the unsponsored Tyrrell team.
It's been a great day. It was very hard work. I can't pretend any other, but the car was very consistent, as with the Goodyear tyres and the Ford engine. The car was just great, so that helped enormously.
When Ken Tyrrell stayed with Ford engines, non-turbocharged engines this year, and hired a young driver straight out of Formula 3, I don't think anybody expected you to be in the points. He's proved everyone wrong, hasn't he?
He has on this occasion, but don't expect it every Grand Prix. There's so much to learn. But today was a good learning day, that's for sure. But yeah, the principles are basically the same as all. I mean, there's great drivers in England in the Formula 3 Championship and Formula Ford 2000. We've all got to come from somewhere. But so I'm pleased that I've done British Motor Racing. Credit.